An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
And think about the damage she will do as the president of the United States.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Trump knocks Harris, calls her a bum, scorns her handling of the southern border, says that she's a failed vice president. Now, the Harris campaign responded, criticizing Trump's speech as bitter and bizarre. But right now, a lot of people want to know, where does Harris stand on immigration as she's going to be entering the elections? Well, what we're hearing is that Kamala Harris's campaign chief is signaling that she would keep Biden's border crackdown as it is, saying the way the policies are right now, they're doing just fine. And as a result, we're seeing this pushback. House GOP actually in the last 48 hours has approved a resolution condemning Harris as a border czar, saying you have failed with security on our southern border. Now, Kamala Harris is saying that she has not been a border czar. And take a look at this video that's been going viral just recently. This came out about 3 years ago.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and this comes as the FBI director we've been hearing for several months now has been warning of dangerous individuals coming across the southern border. And this is coming up because a lot of people are saying this is one of their top concerns right now. The nation's security, safety in the southern border, as we're hearing that there are sleeper cells in America, people crossing the southern border that want to do harm to the United States. And here's another article that came out a couple months ago, the FBI's silent battle against Iranian sleeper cells. And we're also hearing there are Iranian ties right now to potential assassination attempts against former President Donald Trump. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage so you can see it for yourself. What has been coming out in about the last 48 hours as coming to light is Kamala Harris's border policies, and a lot of people saying this is going to jeopardize the security of America. Some even saying this is the worst possible scenario for the United States to get Kamala Harris in with extreme left policies. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, let's go ahead and dive right in, but before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash that like button for me. Just takes a second, helps out the channel a ton. To stay up to date, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube unsubscribing people every single day, people letting me know they've been unsubscribed. They're not really sure why, having to resubscribe. Also, turn on those notification bells, and all articles are going to be linked in the description. I cite all the sources like a book report so you can read them for yourself. But let's go ahead and dive into the video footage so that way you can see the latest coming out as Kamala Harris's border policies are being scrutinized, Trump calling her a bum and a failed border czar. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Kamala Harris's early record now under increased scrutiny as she becomes the presumptive nominee, namely the sanctuary city policies that she was championing when she was in California. In 2006, she was the DA. Kamala Harris said of San Francisco, quote, "We are a sanctuary city and we always will be." As state attorney general, Harris said, quote, "An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal." She maintained her lenient views on the issue throughout her time as senator, then in 2020 as a presidential candidate. Listen.
We've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Fox News contributor and former acting ICE director Tom Homan, he joins us now. Tom, what's your reaction to all of this?
It doesn't get worse. It doesn't get worse. Look, look at the damage she did as the Attorney General for the state of California. And think about the damage she will do as the President of the United States. Not only she supported sanctuary cities as the Attorney General of California and as United States Senator, let's remember she compared ICE to the KKK. She stood at the White House podium and slandered the men of the Horse Patrol and the Border Patrol, saying they were racist and they were whipping black people when anybody saw the video and know it wasn't true. And another thing I found last night, when she was the Attorney General of the state of California, she filed an amicus brief, a friend of the court brief, to the state of California, helping an illegal alien be admitted to the California bar to practice law. Get this, someone in the country illegally she thought should practice law in the state of California. As the Attorney General from California. It doesn't get worse. This is, if you believe in border security, immigration enforcement, national security because of the open border, this is our worst nightmare, her being a president.
Tom, I mean, I don't understand this. And Donald Trump keeps saying he's running as the common sense president. Isn't it common sense? Why would you ever want someone that is a criminal and has murdered people, brutally murdered people, taken a dad and 2 sons from this mom, almost decapitated this 14-year-old? Why would she want them to stay in our country?
It's just incredible. I mean, I've met hundreds of angel moms and dads, and every story's sad. And me and you have talked about this before, Ansley. It's changed the person I am because I've heard so many of these heartbroken stories. I'm sickly tired of it. Now she's trying to change the story. She wasn't a border czar.
Yeah.
And she's now they're saying she's just looking at the root causes for Mexico and the 3 Central American countries. Okay, let's take her at that, even though it's a lie. Let's take her at that. Over 5 million illegal aliens from those 3 countries entered the United States while she was vice president. So how did she do? She didn't do very well. And with a total of 2 million gotaways on 11 million encounters, she has failed as a vice president. She has failed as a border czar. She can't run away from this. American people are smarter than this.
Can you imagine if you're a parent and you lose your child to an illegal immigrant? Your child is buried in the ground and the illegal immigrant is out and not deported.
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and take a look at this article that just came out today that says Trump knocks Harris as a bum, scorns her handling of the southern border. The article says former President Donald Trump criticized Vice President Kamala Harris on Friday, yesterday, as a bum responsible for the influx of migrants flowing across the U.S.-Mexico border during her tenure in the Biden administration. Trump made the comments about Harris at the Turning Point USA Believers Summit in West Palm Beach, Florida. This comes after Harris secured enough delegates for the Democratic Party's top nomination after President Joe Biden dropped his re-election effort, although the party's candidate will not formally be nominated until next month's convention. 3 weeks ago, she was a bum, a failed vice president, and a failed administration with millions of people crossing. And she was the border czar. Now, they're trying to say that she never was, Trump said, referring to recent claims by some media outlets that Harris was never the border czar, although several of the same outlets previously described her as such. They're deleting it all over the place, he added. They want to take it down because we have the worst border in history. And 3.5 years ago, we had the best border that we've ever had, Trump said. President Biden tapped Harris in 2021 to address the root causes of the mass migration from Central and Southern America. Biden said in March of 2021 that Harris was leading the efforts to coordinate with Mexico and other Northern Triangle nations, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, to address issues such as the surge of migrants at the southern border. Earlier this week, the House passed a resolution condemning Harris as a border czar over her handling of the mass migration crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. The resolution passed by a 220-196 vote, with at least 6 Democrats joining Republicans condemning Harris for her handling of the border. The former president also purported that the Democrats are trying to steal the elections and claimed to the Christians in the crowd that Americans will not have to vote at the end of the presidency because it'll be fixed by then. A comment Democrats are criticizing as fascist and an attempt to refuse to leave office. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone that you know to vote, Trump said. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have got to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. And again, this comes as the FBI director has been warning about the southern border crossings and sleeper cells coming to do harm in the United States of America. Now, we're hearing that Harris is going to be the nominee, so it's going to be very interesting to see how she responds to these policies. And she has also been endorsed now by Barack Obama, who is one of the major holdouts, who has now said he has endorsed her. So now she has the support of Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and Barack Obama. It's looking like she's going to be the nominee. However, we're also hearing that Vivek Ramaswamy is saying no. He thinks there are still plans in the work to get Michelle Obama in. Now, to get the latest on that, and we're going to be seeing, I'll keep you up to date, but check out this video right here next if you want to see the latest on what is happening with the Democratic Party and what's coming in the DNC. And like I said, I'll keep you up to speed on everything. But you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.